What are we going to be doing today? Uh, Nothing super crazy. I think that's probably good. Let me just get on to oh yeah, my chat. Perfect. Looks good from this end. I think I've just got to shuffle my screen just a tad. Make sure it's nice and centered. Just so we get the back end of our stroke. Yeah, the chat works today, bro. It literally was just because last week, however the old YouTube does their updates, it defaulted to this is not made for children. Although I'd like to say it is made for children. I don't know. I don't think we do anything here that you would classify as being totally out of the realms of being able to be done by children, young adults. I don't know. I don't know what the age group of YouTube is. But today, okay, we are back in for just another session. But as always, what are we trying to achieve? Okay, and remember, ask yourself that every day when you're jumping on the row machine, or if you're doing anything. What are we trying to achieve today? Today, I feel because we're going to go through these ratings, we're going to keep working on what we've sort of been doing previously for a while, just really focusing in on that technique and that rhythm, which will allow us then, when we start increasing these ratings, that we keep understanding how we're making that extra speed, okay? Not by trying to pump it harder. We're just adding small amounts of pressure. We're moving quicker, okay? All around quicker, not just one part of the stroke, the whole dynamism, dynamic, dynamism. Fuck, I don't know. Here's me trying to get smart with words. The whole dynamic movement of the stroke becomes just that little bit more. There's a little bit more intensity to it, okay? But that intensity comes from the way in what we're doing and the muscle firing and the sequence, okay? So it's not just a straight out, I got to work harder, okay? Yes, we're naturally going to be working harder through the body, through the leg drive, through that momentum that we create. The core stability has to be a little bit more around the finish, which will then allow us to almost feel like a rebound, okay? And you'll always hear me talk about the inertia, right? The inertia, that change in direction from here to here, okay? And when we can get that done well, okay, by using the body swing, by having the feet in the straps, then it allows us for that stability in that core. We engage through here, and it allows us to pop back over, right, to get that body movement back around here with the rhythm, with the chain that allows us to do it, okay? And the more we work on it, the more we look for that feeling, the feedback that we get on screen, we know that we're on the right path to finding that rhythm, right? Finding that continuous motion that we're after, that ability to feel like that metronome, right? That's going back and forward. Okay, nothing like super quick or super slow in certain parts of it. We really want to feel like it's doing this the whole way, right? Boom. And when we engage everything together and we get that firing sequence, we get a nice smooth force curve, which means the application of what we're doing is in a really good sequence, firing after the other, the legs taking, we're hanging, the body's coming through the middle. Everything's getting driven back to this finish point, and we just hold those arms in that hang and we finish through nice and smooth, and then we do it again. And we do it a lot because that's what you do when you're doing nearly, 32 minutes of work, okay? Oh, nice haircut. Oh, thanks, Robert. Yeah, I just got it back. I was getting a bit woolly in the back, so I was like, I better whip it down. So, yeah, should be pretty simple. As I mentioned, let's have that goal, right? What are we trying to do today? Once we start getting up into that rating, okay, I really want everybody to start to think about this, the part of the stroke that we're making the flywheel move. Okay, and if you have your force curve on, you will see that the only time that you're making the flywheel move quicker is when the force curve's on the way that way. Okay, when it's coming down on the other side, all that you're doing is maintaining, right? If you just stop, it'll go boof and it'll drop off pretty quickly. So while we're doing all of this work and what we're trying to achieve, is we've got to remember that there's that take up period through here, right? And so we'll be thinking about that today because the flywheel's spinning and it's going at, I'd love to know how many revolutions actually, I'm going to find out. That when it's moving, we can't just come in and be like, bang, straight on, okay? It is virtually impossible, okay? But we also don't want to be like through to there and then have the connection by the time we get to here. So there's a period in between here and about here that we want to make sure that we are back on top of the speed of that flywheel, okay? And for me, I feel like once it's starting to move, there's a period here and then it's about there where you can start to feel the pressure being held against the hand, right? You can't get it from there. It's just a bit like if you were sprinting, you're trying to get it as close as you can to the front, okay? Short sprints, that type of thing. But when we're looking for longer pieces where the idea of what we're trying to do is not slow the machine down, we're trying to hold it at a certain pace for as long as we possibly can, right? So pace should stay consistent, okay? Fatigue should go that way because we're like, but I'm going to die. And our output should feel like it's going that way, right? Because that's the only way to do it. We're running out of energy. We're getting more stressed in the body, but we want to try and maintain this, okay? And so when we're riding along and you'll hear me just being like, keep it moving, just hold that speed, tap it along. It's because of that simple fact that we are trying to protect the speed that we've created with the energy that we've used to get it going, okay? And so once we get into this rhythm today, this metronomic rhythm of just being able to sit back and get this motion through and around, okay, this inertia that happens here, okay? When we finish the stroke here, it should automatically feel like it wants to go back out, okay? If we're getting to here and we, like, if you feel the tension and like I can feel the tension here, my arms, core, okay? And what it's doing is it's stopping me here, which means then I've lost this rhythm, this ability to get a motion around there, okay? So when we're riding along, once we get that to speed, just remember that if we broke the overall stroke down, right, from the point that we're here, we come all the way back, and we go all the way back to here. There's different stages, right? There's the connection, the drive, the swing, the finish, the preparation of the setup, okay, the glide into the front, and then the compression of the body here, right? So we've just spoken about 7 different parts of the stroke. Now, we just want to make sure that we don't make them individual and we mold them together, okay? The pickup, the through the middle, the finish around, back up here, and the compression. Okay, so see how if we keep those moving, continuous, really nice flow and rhythm, that thing here keeps spinning. It's losing its air from whatever drag factor you've got on or the drag staying in there because you've got it a bit lower, whatever. It's understanding that and working on that, thinking about that. That's the stroke, okay? The stroke is all these different parts that we bring together, and hence why we can't think about it all at once. There's too much shit to think about. And that's why we break it down, we feel that flow, we feel that rhythm, we get feedback here straight away, and we're just really looking for that nice motion which is going to allow us to just keep it going, tap it over, right? Energy expenditure's going this way, fatigue's going this way, but speed, we want to try and keep it like this as much as possible, okay? And that's the goal, right? No matter what pieces or anything you do, even if you're a sprinter and you just love doing 500-meter pieces, same thing applies, right? You're running out of gas. You're like, fuck, kill me now. I'm just about to stop. But you're trying to hold this. You're trying not to let this do this all the way. You're trying to be really flat and constant as much as possible to get the result at the end of the time period. Okay? So enough chit-chat from me. I think I just went away on a bit of a tangent there, but it's what we do. We're here for coaching. We're here for tips. We're here for help you guys to get better. Remember, when you're by yourself, do whatever you want, right? In terms of your exercises that you do. Remember, there is quite a lot you can do on the machine, but at the same time, I'm quite a big fan of trying to do those exercises while you're training. Okay, it is quite difficult to just break things down and do this and do that, because at the end of the day, we're trying to get it through to a whole rhythm. Now, some of the basics, and I shouldn't have done it. I feel like I'm pretty good with social media, right? But you see Robro there chirping away, telling people to come to the stream, which is perfect. It's what we want. But when there's so much information out there, right? And most of it's very good, right? Most of the time, everybody's trying to help people and do this. But the one that just keeps popping up all the time is this feet out. Oh, feet out row. Coach told me to just row with my feet out. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, there's a time and a place, right? And it's perfect. And we did it the other day, and we can do it again here now, where the feet out rowing is a nice exercise to create this stability, right? To create the core stability in the body. It's not something that should be done too much, okay? Because you're just going to get into bad habits around trying to, when you add more speed, the only way for you to stop the body from flying back this way is to really tense here and to like point the toes and more finish like this. I see people all the time with feet out, and they'll finish like this because they have to, right? That doesn't give you the ability, if you have your feet into here, to just be like boof, like way back here, right? You can, all the athletes that are like pulling way up to their chest to try and get the stroke. You can't do that if you have your feet out. I don't even know if I could do it. I would fucking fall off the back of the head. Okay, so use exercises as you please. I feel like they're very good in warm-ups for stuff to give you a focal point. If you are just doing a day where you're not feeling the machine, you're like, but I still know I need to do something. That's a great time to be able to do some things as well, okay? Just don't be sarcastic. Yeah, I know you're sarcastic as hell, right, bro? Which is what is great. Okay, so if you want to, especially in this first part, as I said before, this feet out rowing, it does, especially once you've started to warm up and you're in a position. The one thing that I find is really good for feet out rowing is to get that part of the stroke working, okay? It's really beneficial for sort of straight arm rowing to feel under here, because you don't have that finish where you can allow that body to just swing back through the drive, okay? Because it gets artificial. You can't accelerate the body without trying to hold ourselves at the finish, okay? It is very good to, and if you are doing feet out at the moment for this bit of the warm-up, you should be able to feel how the first part there, you can feel the press, but if you're doing it well, you can feel the point where if you were to carry on with it, Jesus, and really come through, that there's nothing to stop the body from coming off the back unless you're really tense. And see how I'm holding the body forward like that? Because I'm trying to put in the pressure, but the only thing stopping me from flying backwards is this part of the body. Okay, so it's a very good tool to use for getting connection, to feel when the body starts getting driven by the legs. Okay, but we don't have that safety mechanism to be able to swing back, maintain the pressure, and get into this position that we're looking to around the finish. Okay, hence why it's a very good exercise. I'm not a big fan on it being a full-time thing because I don't think it allows you to really get the potential out of that part of the stroke, the hang in the body, right? Being driven off the legs. I can feel the strap against my feet because it's holding me from flying backwards. Okay, so in your own time here, nice and loose, limber, hang, feel the press, both feet. Okay, really nice hang motion. Quite often, especially in the warm-up, if you press that second button down on the right, you're going to see your force curve, and giving you feedback about your stroke, where the peak is of the force, where it tails off, and also how smooth the curve is. If it's quite ragged, it means that we're not quite getting the sequence into the next stroke as well as possible. Okay, nice and smooth means the sequences of the stroke are coming together a little bit better. Okay, boom. Right, enough jibber jabber. I went off on a tangent there, but that's okay. Hopefully everybody understands. I'm only here to try and make you guys better, okay? I enjoy it. I really want to see people improve. I like doing it myself and being, hey, this felt good. Oh, today I was feeling a little bit more of a struggle on the hang because I've been playing golf all weekend. So don't know what it is, you know, whatever. Might have been out in the garden all week. Things are going to feel slightly different. And that's where, at the end of the day, just trying to get that smooth, continuous motion, using our energy efficiently to find good speed. Okay? So now down to the workout. If you haven't read it so far, it's just those 4 8-minute pieces, minute in between. Now we're just going to increase the rates through each one. You can see the time checks: 4 and 4, 2 4 2, 2 2 2 2, and then 2 2 1 1. Okay? This is all about getting that rhythm right through here, these first couple of pieces, in terms of our movement, in terms of our technique, really looking to take what we're doing here into this increase, okay? So we look for that flow, that speed, that relaxation, the hang, all of those parts getting really nice and consistent with our stroke. And then when we start to get up to this, is what we talked about at the start, which is, as always, when you start getting down to these last sets in a workout, they're the ones where you want to put everything together that you've been doing through all of this. You put it into here, and you get the feedback, okay? So with this, when we start going up in that rating, as I said right back at the start, how are you increasing that speed? Is it just power, or are you moving the body quicker? Have you got good acceleration? You've still got good timing of the body, the flow, the rhythm, the sequence, coming back off, setting up, using that body compression to get into the front. Are you rushing it a little bit and then feeling like there's disjointedness on the way forward? All of that we address in here. And then when you get into here, this is good feedback, right? This is X split. That's a little bit quicker. That's a little bit quicker. And then that's a little bit quicker again, right? Bang, 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 bang. And it gives us good feedback on screen. We try and hold our bodies. We try and move. And as I say, this energy expenditure that goes like this and the fatigue, we want to try and make it feel like this, not like that, okay? So if we're doing it properly, we've got good speed, which will actually increase as well. Plus, our energy doesn't do this and become way harder than it should be, okay? We're just looking for that easy increase in pace that allows us to move, okay? The work, the rest ratio, we can get that speed of the drive, and then we can try and get this recovery as we're coming forward on ready for the next stroke, okay? Beautiful. Okay, here we go. Rock and roll. Let's set up our monitors. Select workout, new workout, intervals, time. Okay, bump that set time up to 8 minutes. Put that rest time to 1. Just leave it flashing for a second. We'll wait for the team. We'll make sure everybody's on the same page. And then we're into it, okay? So, 8 minutes, 1 minute rest time. Press the check box. Here we go, okay? We're going to break it all down, as we always do, go through all the process, and then rip it apart when we get down to that bottom, okay? Look for good speed, efficient speed, okay? Really nice motion, continuous motion of what we're trying to do, okay? Right, here we go. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Attention, go. Right, this first 4 minutes, just it. 20 rate, okay? Should feel nice and natural, smooth, continuous motion. Trying to make all of these parts of the stroke, even on the recovery, feel like they mold into each other, okay? There's no jerkiness, okay? We want to avoid this sort of thing. And we still want to get that process, but we want to make it feel like this dance, like this smooth, continuous feeling where we're rolling back and forward, okay? Nice. Body compression, okay? Feel as we come forward, that seat coming up underneath us. We've created the momentum in the body with the handles and the chain to start the process of getting the body forward, okay? If we hold ourselves back, we're going to do this at the catch. If we start it, by the time we reach the front here, we should be prepared, we should be ready, okay? Too far back is when you get the dive, okay? Too far Forward also, being like this, is where we get that sort of pause before the front, because we don't have any elasticity in the body. Okay? Compress, extend, natural. Okay? This flow, this rhythm, back and forward. Really good. And that's just that, right? Hopefully you're looking at a number on screen, you're breathing into it. That's the current number, the force, the power, speed that you're able to generate by doing what you're doing right now, okay? And then we go through all the little pointers and we see how that affects, okay? So think about these 3 connection points: the hand, the feet, and the seat. We're gathering here at the front as we get ready to extend. And now that we go up in 2 points, let's just move quicker, okay? The drive speed, just add acceleration, okay? Don't think power, speed. Hand speed around the finish. Speed on the slide coming forward. Okay, continuous. Lovely. Okay, find your own breathing rhythm. Okay, look at the chain. Try and make it nice and flat. We're getting to the finish. And we see it doing a bit of a jump around. Try and smooth it out. Okay, are we ripping it in, getting vibration? Or are we releasing, brushing the body, and then be nice and patient in these hands? Okay? Smooth. As we come into the front, as we're gliding, we can feel the hand in the seat moving at the same speed. Okay? Shouldn't feel like one part's moving significantly faster than the other, especially through here. Should feel like we connected a rope to here and here, but once we're here, there, that distance should not separate or extend. Okay, shouldn't do that. Shouldn't also do that. Okay. Breathing. Any tension is only muscle tension on the drive. Okay, on this recovery, shouldn't feel tight. Should feel loose, supple. Remember what we're trying to do. Flywheel's moving, smooth, and just keep that flywheel spinning. Okay, nice. Really good. And for that core stability. On the drive. Hands, feet, out through the core. Okay, nice. Okay, so first couple of sets here, as I said, really dialing in on this motion, okay? This rhythm that we're trying to create. The drive through here, you can feel it now, right? This is trying to take us back to the front, okay? We don't have to think too much about trying to get back here. If we create that inertia, that speed here, even now, you can hang on with like one finger, okay? Loose and floppy arms. The chain is still trying to make its way back that way, okay? Right, here we go. So 2 minutes again at that 20. This is nice and steady. There's plenty of patience. Feel the drive, the patience on this recovery. Okay, feel it in the hands, the chain on that plane, back and forward. Take a moment once we're finished with that inertia, hands release out over the knees. Give yourself a piano fingers, okay? There, wriggle the fingers. Feel that the chain is drawing itself back, okay? We're not having to push it back. We're actually using the machine as our recoil, especially at low rate, okay? We can feel it. You take one hand off and you'll notice that the other side's going to pull like that because it's wanting to go back. So we move with it. We use the machine to our advantage. Okay? We feel the pressure, the energy on the drive, and we control ourselves on the recovery. Right, up two. We know how to do it. Just moving. All those parts of the stroke a little bit quicker. Okay? You can feel that press from the front. The take up. And then the pressure with the legs and body. Through the swing. And then the hands just come to us, okay? Nice and flat with the draw. Try not to pull too high, okay? Sternum, just under the chest. We talk about physics, straight lines, okay? We start doing this, or we go up. We're just moving outside the boundary of efficiency, okay? When we release that pressure around the finish, there, chain. That's what's taking us forward. We just use that core to hold the foot straps through the drive, and then we start that inertia or the rebound from here, so to speak, and then breathe. No tension forward. We want to be relaxed. Conserving energy. Riding with the machine. That ratio. Okay? And about the drive as we compress. There. We're prepared. We're set. And then we take up. Send it through the middle. Legs. Drive the body. Good. Okay? And we've got this continuous motion at 22. Stroke after stroke. Right. Up 2. Now, so just remember, move quicker. Acceleration. Patience. Okay? Breathe into it. Long arms. With that hand under the armpits. Down on the lats. Okay? Really good. And we just tap this along. Okay? No grab. Around the front. Roll with back and forward. Seat. Hands. Okay? And the feet. Natural compression. Soft knees. Especially around here. Let them break. Just naturally. Okay, good. Just looking at my technique. Okay. Probably pushing that a bit hard, but I felt good. Okay. So just remember, in this next one, it's just 2 minutes at each part. Okay. Get the rhythm, get the flow, feel the relaxation, this natural compression. Just get out here, roll to there. Okay, this part here should be nothing. Should be just the focus, thinking, not tense. Okay, here we go. Nice, patient speed. Let's get a nice, steady, consistent rhythm. Take our time to get this momentum, this motion, the hang, the elasticity of the body through here, so that we can feel the take up. Okay, this part from there. Okay, we don't go bang. Okay, want to pick and send. Okay, we also don't want to come in, be too slow, and then try and give some. Roll with the speed, with the rhythm, the patience, feel the press, both feet. Feel the symmetry between the drive down the center line. Both arms feel equal hang under the armpits, the feet, the legs, equal. Okay? Probably see it with the chain right up to, if when you take the drive, it looks like the chain goes one side or the other. Try and center ourselves a little bit better. The hang, the push. How nice. Here it is. Okay. The rhythm, with speed, hang. Use those lat muscles. This human evolution of our hang, holding that body position as we press, open out, okay? We're coming from compression to extension, okay? Through the sequence of the stroke, sequence of the pressure. And the order of our muscle strength as well, okay? Nice. Compress, seat, sitting tall, the posture, up to. Now, Okay? So remember what I said. All around. More speed of the hand. Traveling faster forward. Drives quicker. Okay, good. Breathe. Let's stay nice and loose. Try and make it no tension, especially here on the way forward. And press. And we try. Okay, good. And feel the push. And nice and smooth. Patient. We've got this rhythm, this motion. Consistency with the rating. Okay? Now prepare. Ready to move quicker. Now, don't work harder. Move quicker. Acceleration. The pressure will naturally increase, but it's not the focus. Good. Breathe. Now, metronomic. Continuous motion. Long arms. Hang. Half minute. Okay, tap it along. Relax the face. Open the mouth. One push. Long hang. Yeah, really good. Flywheel. It's moving. Tap. Maintain. It's all we're trying to do. Smooth with the movements. Okay, so see how in that last part, when I said about the flywheel, it's moving. We just want to maintain it, okay? We don't have to make it go every time. We're naturally going to do that with the technique and the rhythm, but the goal should be to try and keep the revolutions that it's going about the same pace, okay? If we lose power, pressure, it's going to come down, okay? All we want to do is tap it along. Okay, last piece. 2 minutes, and then the last 2 minutes, we go up per minute, okay? So remember what I said at the start about the first part of the workout is getting ourselves the feeling that we want to achieve. And now we're at the part where we want to make sure we don't go back into old habits. We keep the form, the way that we're working, the feeling, and we maintain. Okay? Nice. Breathe. Stay loose. Stay relaxed. Good feeling. Okay? Self-check. Centered. The difference. Take a moment now. The drive versus recovery. Muscle tension, relaxation. Push, rest. Work, relax. Okay? Nice. Okay, remember, on the way up, move quicker. Here we go. There it is. The extra pace comes from more rate. The acceleration on the drive, not blatant, I've got to work harder. Okay? Move with the rhythm. Okay? This is really good. Focus in on it. Hang with me. Armpits. Good. Both feet as we press. Symmetry. Have a check. When we take in the pressure from the front, does it feel like it's up here? Or is it long arms under the arm? Under the arm. Good. Nice and flat. Elastic compression. And remember that. Don't need to overreach. Body. The inertia around the finish. Up two. Okay? With that inertia. Good. Okay, breathe with me. Elasticity. Okay? Let's look for consistency here. Next minute and a half. Hand. Breathe. Relax the fast. Okay? This is nice. Remember, flywheel speed. Maintain. Good. Smooth. One push. Feel the sequence. Really good. Okay. Take this movement. Last 2 changes. Here we go. Free it up. Now, elastic. Feel the push. Brush the body. Breathe. Oh, nice. You want to maintain, hold, okay? Want to look a bit extra? Come with me. Rhythm. Acceleration. Okay, 30 rate. Flywheel. No grab. Push and swing. Good. 30 seconds. Compress. Space. Breathe. Hang. Push and swing. Beautiful. Lovely. Okay. It's a hot, sweaty mess. Okay. Breathe it out. We'll keep moving. Trying to catch my breath. Okay. Lovely. Focus. In your own time now, just press that menu button a couple of times. Save everything into your memory, log books. Okay, really good. So, good focus, good rhythm, good exercise, okay? And remember, that's the key. When we're doing workouts like this together, these live streams, yes, we're pushing ourselves, we're looking for the benefits, the technique, the coaching, but we're really trying to get an understanding and figure when it feels good, when it doesn't feel good. Okay, your ability to understand if it feels a bit shitty or a bit rushed or whatever, that you can make a change and what effect it has on the machine. Okay, now that can be a bit wild because you could be really hauling on it and then you try and relax and the speeds drop, okay, they go slower, and you'll be like, fuck that, I'm going to haul it again. Okay, but in terms of longevity, is that the wisest thing to do? Okay, or do I need to just take a moment, think about what's happening, and then work on it from that point, okay? Because that's really what starts to happen as we're going through different sessions, different pieces. Things feel different once a rating comes up, okay? You might enjoy 24, 26. It might be a beautiful spot and metronome for you. You might love 20. You might not be able to get it above 28, okay? All of these things come into effect, but it's identifying, okay? It's thinking, learning, being able to see what you're doing, making changes, and how they affect what you see on screen, okay? So a little bit of active recovery here. Let's just sit nice and relaxed. Let that change. Let's do this with fingertips, piano fingers, okay? Or chuck your thumb on top. Means that you can't grip the handle, okay? And just feel this hang rhythm, okay? As we push the legs and we open the body with just our body weight, okay? With our body speed. That's all active recovery is, okay? It's not just sitting here doing this, being like, man, okay? The body just to feel, okay? With just enough weight to feel connection, to feel hang, okay? It's probably split-wise 45 seconds to a minute slower than what you're doing, okay? But that just means that we're just using our weight. We're just using our sequence of the body opening up. And feel the hang. Breathe. Another few strokes here. Nice, easy length. Control. Okay, 2 more. Boom. Okay. Great session. Hey, sweaty, hot, puffed. Okay, everything that we want in a workout was right here, right now. Okay, even to a point I was focusing a little bit more on my hang there today, and just really trying to make sure I've got that engagement in it. When you're focusing on things, it really does just like energy and just mental strength to like focus and be like, have I got it right? Next stroke. Shit, the next stroke. Am I pushing? Have I got this right? Have I got that right? Okay, and that's why rowing's such a difficult sport, because there's so much to think about all the time, right? There's all these different places we need to be with our setup when we get to the front, right? And then you can have strokes where you're like, oh, didn't get there. I felt myself lurch a little bit at the front. And then you're like, shit, I've got to make sure that's right at the end. And then you got something else to go on, right? So that's why it's extremely difficult, okay? But also it is a sport where, and obviously a fitness tool as well, where you've got instant feedback, okay? And just remember that, whatever you do and how you adjust it. Remember, you've got instant feedback, but don't just see splits jump from one to another and then, oh, I've got to push this one harder. Oh, yeah, that went down. I'll just think about relaxation. Oh, shit, the speed went slower. And then, oh, I'll push harder again. Think about the trend over 3, 4, 5 strokes. Has it changed? The rating might be at 21 instead of 20. Does it matter? No. If it starts going up higher, yes, try and control it a little bit. Okay, but just think of that overall trend while we're doing it, okay? Love to focus on technique. It's what makes rowing so much more challenging than just jumping on a bike and grinding the pedals. Great work. Cheers, Chris. First time using my legs, as you pointed out, I hit the best numbers at 20 rate, 22, 24, 26. Yeah, basically using my legs. Obviously, I've been muscling it. Thanks, Rich. I think it's Rich. Yeah, the thing you got to remember is that the whole entire thing with this machine is that the legs drive the body. Okay, we don't drive the legs, then whip the body through. The legs drive the body. Okay, and we've got to make sure that we have that, because we don't just want to go legs, body, arms, right? We want to have legs driving that body. Okay, because when you add how much leg power we've got with our body power, you can create so much more force by combining those two. Now, we don't want to start the body early, and we don't want to like push the legs out too far first to start, but we have to get that motion to be able to push through the stroke. Okay, and that's what creates, when you listen to the machine, that right of the flywheel. And we only get that with the acceleration because of everything going together. Okay. Doug, how similar are your hand-to-hand path to what you do in the boat, especially a few inches as you come into the catch? Doug, okay, well, with the boat stuff, Doug, you've definitely got to have the ability to have your hands a little bit lower and then like raise them up to the catch, right? If you're in a single, because you've got to have the hands off, like you obviously want the blades off the water and come up. Now, if you're using this predominantly for stuff on the water, I would try and think a little bit about the tennis ball, right? Or the apple at the front, and think that there's that change is that level, right? But as you're going through with it, yes, you want to. The only issue with thinking too much about the boat, right? And I'll show you here, is that what I see predominantly with people that are like, especially with kids and stuff, is that the coach will tell them, get the hands down, write it down here, right? See how it's drawn my body forward, and then it comes up into here. Okay. Now you can create this motion here around the finish, right? Around that tennis ball, around here, but then hold it and maintain it this way. Okay. And then you can have a slight come here. But what can happen is if I go up too much, see what this does to all of this, right? Is that the motion with my shoulders comes in, and I do that, because what happens is you're lifting this. And it's very hard to just come in and go like that, okay? Because of the dynamism of the machine to do that, okay? It's quite difficult. So yes, there is a little bit. You can come from here, hold it down, hold weight, and then a little bit here. But what it does is it affects this, right? Shoulders, arms, by coming down too low and then doing that. See how I've got to, and I see it all the time. People be like, coaches, get the hands down, hold it down by the knees, and see how it's just already automatically drawn my body down this way, right? Whereas you can make a small movement, but then you do that. See the difference between that and like that? Okay, so small movements, yes, to get you thinking about what you're doing on the water, but at the same time, when you're on the water as well, you don't want to be thinking of doing this. We want that flat drive that creates that speed, okay? So just something to think about. I like the straight line physics analogy. Yeah, well, it is one, and occasionally I see it, okay, because my right arm, okay, you probably can't quite see it, but this has got like a natural bend in it, and this one I can get a lot straighter, right? I can see it. I don't know if you guys can, but what tends to happen sometimes myself is that when I'm take the drive, I can actually just see that the chain, because of the arm not being perfectly symmetrical, is that if I really start going at it, that part here, I can actually see the chain just on that side of the half of the housing, right? And so as you're riding along, that's feedback as well, because if you do a stroke and it goes to the left or to the right, you know, or if it's going too high or too low, that's coaching yourself, because you can see it, okay? And when you see it, you make a change, rather than having to have somebody there doing it. But yes, physics, straight lines, perfect, symmetry, you know, because at the end of the day, the stroke is like a clean, okay? And you're not going to lift one side more than the other early, because it's just not going to happen. Okay. Thanks, Eric. Yep, Doug got it. Totally makes sense. Jamie, thanks, Eric. Definitely started to muscle it towards the end, and the split started to go up. In this type of workout, is it best to accept rising splits but maintain relaxation, or is consistency best? Obviously, consistency is best, Jamie. But if you're working on something and it's not coming, the problem is, and hopefully, I should say hopefully, when I talk about, especially when we raise those ratings, and I say to you, don't think about working harder. Okay, you're going to work harder naturally because you've got to move quicker, right? You've got to have leg speed quicker, and you've got to move your hands. So I'm puffing, I'm panting, my heart rate goes up, my energy levels and expenditure go up, but don't focus on the going up as such. Okay, and yes, whatever's happening with your splits is a direct correlation to how you're doing it. So if you're going up in rating and your speeds are actually going slower, you're like, right, what am I missing? What's not working? What am I doing wrong? And so all of those bits and pieces come under your thought process as it's happening. And a lot of times it could be you're just getting behind. It's your focus could be focused too much on this. And so it doesn't specifically matter, because at the end of the day, you want to try and find the balance between getting the speed but also getting the technique. So if the speeds are dramatically getting worse and the technique's there, you do have to think about, am I focused too much on relaxation, whereas I need to still be giving it some speed. But then vice versa, if you start to really haul on it and you're not really gaining any speed, then what's happening is you're jumping out. It's like, well, I'm working way too hard for the output that I'm receiving. So it is a difficult one to adjust to. But as I say, this is a training session. This is something that you learn from, right? If you don't go away from a training session and say, man, that point there, I loved it. I hit my stride there, but then this wasn't as good. You're like, that's okay. Does that mean my fitness is not quite there? Was I really focused in that part and then I just got to this and I was just running out of steam? I don't know. Okay, but that's the thing with training sessions, is learning, understanding, taking something away from it. Because at the end of the day, if we're not learning, or we're not continuing to check on what we're doing or focus on that sort of thing, we just get into a rut, and we're only doing it for fucking doing its sake, rather than being like, I really want to improve. I've got this goal in mind. I'm doing that sort of thing. So whatever happened today in any of those segments, wherever you found yourself in good spot, perfect. Where it didn't go right, perfect. Learn from it, okay? And that's the whole thing. Right, what have we got? A couple more. Thank you, Eric. Another great session. My second time doing live stream, but been doing your workouts for almost 3 years now. Love coaching. Thanks, Pim's Fair. Alan, and coming in around the front sometimes, I find that during the drive, the machine feels like it's going to pull the handle out of my hands. How can I smooth that out, Alan? You feel like the handle's going to pull it out of your hand. That's actually what you want to feel. If that's the right word, but when you're coming around the front, the thing with it, right? And I always go back. Big evolution fan here. You know, you watch orangutans and shit, and chimps and stuff hanging in trees because they can, right? Now we've got these appendages, our arms, okay? And if we're hanging here, you know, and we've got very good grip strength, because you tell anybody that's lifting weights off a floor, they're not curling their hands around like this to try and lift it up. They're really using their fingers and that strength through here, through the tendons and the arms to be able to do it. And this is no different. So I like to think sometimes that when I'm pushing away that it would do that, okay, because I can't hold on to it. But if it comes with you, that opposite reaction is the fact that then it does come with you and you feel that drive, okay? So yes, sometimes it will feel like you're driving away from the handle at the front, but that's sort of the feeling you want to get, because otherwise that means that you're hanging under here, you're using your hand strength to be able to do this, rather than if you grip it, which I find is one of the main reasons why a lot of people get that really strong feeling at the front is because you grip it and it's like this, right? And the muscles are all tense up in here from grip strength from doing that, right? White knuckle. Whereas if you're hanging, all of the tension is a hang tension, not a grip tension, okay? And that hang tension, you've got the ability, it's no different. The analogy I've used on here many, many times, you know, hanging on a chin-up bar. You don't just grip the shit out of the chin-up bar. You're trying to hang there to make sure that all of this has just got hang tension rather than grip tension, because grip tension just depletes you of energy. And that's why at the front, yes, sometimes it might feel like it's wanting to slip out. And I was a classic, and I still feel it every now and again, especially when my handle gets sweaty, because my fingers have got a little bit of the elasticity where it comes here, and then they almost like opens up, and then it comes back again. Okay, but don't think about it being as a bad thing, because at the end of the day, hang tension is using less energy than grip tension. And when we add it up over time and we're looking for watts, we're looking for more revolutions, that could be the difference between you doing a 7-minute and a 6-minute 58, round numbers here. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we're looking for, is every little bit of extra relaxation or efficiency or anything else is what we're after. Okay? Right, perfect. Thanks, team. We've been on here long enough because I shit talked at the start, but great questions at the end. Really, really good. Okay? Great session. Might look to doing some speed stuff next week. Might even do some, I've been thinking as I've been writing away a whole lot of things that I want to do. Might even look at doing some low drag stuff to really create some speed and some rhythm in our body, okay? Just especially for a few people that are like, I can't really get the rating up. There's some good exercises, especially by lowering the drag, that allow you to move quicker and faster and faster and faster. And so we might throw in a couple of that, but then also go back to normal drag and rate it up. Very similar to a power strokes, but on the opposite spectrum. So we're not just super going about power, we're actually going about speed, okay? So it's a really good way. And as I say, this machine covers all the bases and everything you want to do. Okay, perfect. Right, any other questions? Chuck them in the chat. Notifications will pop up. I'll cover it off at some stage. Be perfect. Other than that, stay safe. Thanks from me and the Sensei team. Have a good rest of your weekend. Good week next week. Keep up the training. Keep working towards your goals. And I'm always here to help you guys out. Okay, beautiful. Have a good one. I'm going to get a mop, and we'll see you guys later. Cheers, team.